It has always been difficult to discern where nature ends and where the culture that completes it begins. This has resulted in a tendency to exaggerate in both directions. The more legalistic minds like to overextend the responsibility of nature so as to simplify the rules of moral discernment and to make them, like Spinoza did, the object of quasi-mathematical demonstrations. The more lax minds, on the contrary, want to entrust everything to culture. They deny as much as they can to nature, when they do not simply deny nature itself. Our newest culture decidedly sinned by the latter inclination. The exercise of sexuality especially captivates this thirst for cultural freedom. To this operation, vital for the continuity of the human species, nature has attached a pleasure powerful enough that we do not forget to carry out this duty. As collateral damage, this attraction leads to granting oneself a license so as to draw from the sexual relationship all its pleasure without assuming its responsibilities. The cultural imagination has always been fertile in deviations to frustrate nature, masturbation, fornication, concubinage, prostitution, contraception, abortion, homosexuality, and other practices that eliminate from the equation the child to be born and educated. Nonetheless, natural law is engraved very deeply in everyone's heart. While engaging in these practices, therefore, there is a strong attempt to find some natural excuse for them. On the other side, the famous encyclical Humanae Vitae clearly condemned in practice, and especially contraception, separating sexual relation and fertility. In response, their supporters, even theologians, have worked hard to develop a new ethic that reconciled these practices with the nature of human sexuality. Recent culture pushes boldness further. In this area, it reduces nature to what cannot be denied at all: the fact that it endows every human individual with X or X and Y chromosomes, and that it equips everyone with male or female genitalia. This recent culture, however, denounces all the rest of the natural dispositions as a free and optional cultural construction, denying any specific masculine or feminine nature that would accompany the possession of such chromosomes and organs. It demands as free choice, possibly influenced and constrained by stereotyped upbringing, all the behavioral preferences associated with being male or female, especially in the performance of the sexual act, but also in all respects. The so-called gender theory concedes to everyone an imposed sexual identity. How could it deny their chromosomes and their initial genitalia? But it demands for everyone the perfectly free choice of their generic identity. According to the ideology it arbitrarily promotes, everyone is entitled to choose behavior, clothing, hairstyle, cosmetics, gait, toilets, cloakroom, and even the name of their preference, without any constraint due to the fact that such preferences were always culturally attached to one or the other sex. The freedom of everyone, according to this theory, goes as far as the right to choose after the fact the hormones and genitals of their preference, and even to suspend puberty or redirect it if it does not go in the desired direction. Giving such free rein to everyone's fantasy has led to imagine beyond the masculine and the feminine, even beyond homosexuality and lesbianism, 60 or so genders likely to accommodate all sexual deviations. One chooses to be male or female, to prefer relations with the other sex or with the same, or with both, One chooses to change one's gender or to keep it, going back and forth as often as one wants. People can even declare themselves of indeterminate, suspender, or fluid gender if they want to keep the option of changing it as often as the desire comes to them. It is not so difficult to anticipate the tragedy that will afflict people culturally scalded in this third degree and embarked on such a path, all the more serious as they embarked on it younger. But never mind. Freedom has no price, especially since such a cultural theory opens up entirely new areas of economic development. So many surgeries, so many pharmaceutical products, so many psychological and psychiatric consultations are required for the exercise of such freedom. No doubt, this economic profit is also the source of the political enthusiasm that wants to force schools to introduce young people to this ideology under the guise of respect for the freedom of each and fight against discrimination. For more medical, terminological, and historical details, one will take advantage of the illuminating culture pills previously recorded on this site by Dr. Massimo Gandolfini concerning the distinction of sexual and gender identities, gender dysphoria, and other related topics.